Yo, what it do? Y'all, it is officially New Year's Eve. This is literally the last day of 2024. Don't that sound crazy? Listen, this year has been a year. You hear me? I'm talking about it's been a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of growth, a lot of blessings. I'm talking about moments where I know for a fact I seen God's hand at work in my life. I'm just saying, listen. But yeah, today I really just want to sit here, recap 2024 with you. And just talk about the highs, the lows, and the lessons that we taking into 2025. So yeah, y'all stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. This really the last show of the year. Let's run it.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year.
Hey, before we even go any further, I just want to say thank y'all personally. You know what I'm saying? For y'all really just like tuning in, checking out my videos, listening to my podcast, you know what I'm saying? Sharing my content, like all of that. Like one of my goals for 2024 was to have better content for Elevation Talks. And so this year, you remember that sound bit that was viral at some point? Everything is content, everything is content. Like that was kind of in my mind throughout the year, like everything is content, and it's like, nah, for real. Everything is content. It's just all about how you utilize it, right? So, nah, for real. Like I realized that I've been doing like motivational content since like 2022. So this is dope because it's early on in the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like at first I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to drop gems. And I know that that's crazy coming from the gem dropper herself. I did not want to drop gems. I really just enjoyed having my little family and friends around. You know, they'll call me and I'll always just drop some gems on them. And you know what I'm saying? Just going about my day. And so I actually remember the first time I had ever did a video on TikTok. My first video on TikTok was about relationships, and it was about overplaying your position. And basically, I was literally at my mom's house. I had went and checked on her apartment for her. She was out of town or something. And I was just sitting there eating a bag of chips. And I was just like, man, I'm finna make a video. I don't know. I don't remember if it was something that was just like on my brain to like do, or I don't know. But it was just like, I know for a fact I had got out of my comfort zone because I had already been filming content on my phone as far as like speaking videos of me. But I never had intentions on actually like posting it. You know what I'm saying? Like it would literally just be stuff in my phone that I would go back and look at. So fun fact about me, I love going through my gallery. Like, I don't know, I'm big on memories. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, I'm big on memories. So I do enjoy just going through my gallery, scrolling. A lot of times, like when I'm not on social media for real, if you ever catch me on my phone, sometimes, I'm just going through my gallery, just looking at stuff in my phone. But yeah, like I had content in my phone, but it was just like, nah, it's time to do something else. It's time to take it up a notch. Yeah, like I remember I was sitting at my mom's house and I just pulled out my phone. I didn't have no phone stand. I didn't have no microphone. I didn't have no extra light. Literally all I had is what I had. So I just propped up my phone. I don't know. I think I was like using one of my mom's candles or something. And so, yeah, man, I was just sitting there eating my Lay's. And yeah, I was just talking about how you can overplay your role, in your relationship, share the load, blah, blah, blah. And that was literally the first video I ever posted on TikTok. And I don't remember the amount of engagement that happened or whatever. But basically, I actually started enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, okay, I like posting videos, like me just like giving advice. Cause I don't know if somebody had came out and said like, oh, I needed to hear this, or, it was some type of feedback. And it was just like, I thought it was so dope for somebody, around the world that was outside of my family was like, yo, Nay, I needed to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just like, shoot, okay, people finding value in what I be talking about. And it's just like, that's one of the things that I've always been said for a long time. Like, all right, like, you better listen to what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about. And so it was just cool. Like, okay, finally, somebody listening. And so, shoot, I just kept posting and people just kept listening. So it's been a super dope year of just being consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like, not having to figure out. Like, I remember, I want to say it was last year, so 2023. I was more so caught up on where I was going to film. Like, oh, am I going to go outside? Or, because I started looking at what other people was doing, right? And so I immediately started wanting to go big. Oh, I need to get a studio. Oh, I can only shoot, like on 4K cameras. And like, I literally got like, my mind went like here once I started seeing like, oh, okay, like people actually making content, people like, finding value in the content. So, instantly I want to make it better. I want to be more intentional about it. And it was just like, I want to say to the content creators today that want to start, my advice to you would be to just start. You know what I'm saying? I know you see, especially on TikTok, I know you see so many people with all the works. You know what I'm saying? The lights, the mic, the whatever. You know what I'm saying? The stabilizer, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You see people with whole setups. You know what I'm saying? But I know, like, for me, I didn't start right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was looking over my content from 2023, right? And fun fact, I actually started this podcast a year ago, but I wasn't taking it as serious as I do now, right? So I was just testing the waters, but I was also looking at what I felt like other people had access to or had compared to what I had. So I remember when before I even got these lights, I just had ring lights, right? And so luckily for me, I was working for a phone accessories brand, and they were coming out with just different like content stuff left and right. So, I'm snagging the stuff and, kind of setting up my studio as I go. And so I remember, man, I had hit my homeboy. My homeboy had a super dope studio that I was helping him produce content out of. So I'm like, yo, let me use the studio. He like, hell yeah, that's cool. And so what ended up happening was that day was overbooked, right? And so that had really discouraged me because I had to first work myself up to being on camera. I was the person that was always used to being behind the scenes. So it really took me like literally all of 2023 to come out of my shell. You know what I'm saying? And so for this year, for me, it has been super just dope and very fruitful because it's like this was the year that I actually stepped outside of my shell. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the year that I've been the most comfortable on camera. You know what I'm saying? This is the year that I've been the most intentional about posting content every single day in terms of like reels or stuff like that. And really just making content. You know what I'm saying? And I used everywhere as my studio. You know what I'm saying? I remember I did a video sometime earlier this year. Oh, yeah. This was actually before God had leveled me up. I want to talk about this. So earlier this year, I remember I was like unemployed. I was still trying to figure out my offerings in terms of like, what do I actually want to offer my clients? Because it's like people come to me for stuff all the time, but I don't really know. Like, I'm not trying to be a coach. I'm not trying to offer these services and this. Like, I was still just trying to figure it out. But I was also in a place of rock bottom. Like, I had got laid off last year, and like I still was waiting on God to respond, right? And so in the midst of me waiting on him to respond, shoot, I was working out, I was fasting, I was still dropping my gems, I was still creating the content, like, and I was also still applying for jobs, but even at some point that just got old to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally just started like, hey, I started saying and believing God gonna do it. And I remember specifically, I was on my treadmill, and I had did a few videos while I was on my treadmill, but one of the ones that stuck out was God gonna do it, and it's gonna be all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? And I had that Money Bag Yo plan, and now I'm up all of a sudden. Hey, like, that joint was really in my mind going off, you know what I'm saying? And that was the energy that I was feeling. And it was just like, little did I know, everything was about to go crazy all of a sudden, man. Like, I honestly think I did that video in January of this year. And when I tell you, bruh, jeez, God went completely off, man. Like, man, and it's so crazy because the word for the year at Transformation Church is fruit. And I'm like, bro, I had no idea, like, the amount of fruit that I was getting ready to produce, like, this season. So, yeah, let's dive into it. I'm excited to talk about it, man. I don't have, as y'all know, for those of y'all that's like, been following me for a second, and for those of y'all that's new to me, I really don't have a full-blown structure of how I do this stuff. One of the things about me, I am a dream chaser. I set goals. I turn dreams into reality. Like, I'm really one of those people, like, when I say run it up, nah, for real, run it up. So part of running it up is learning as you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, going through your journey, going through the process, trusting the process, but literally growing and going. So I don't have a full-blown structure of how I'm doing certain things yet and all of that. So when I get long-winded, just know I'm in my mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, just share the content, subscribe, all the things to do. The bell for the notifications if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're checking this out on other platforms, share it out. We appreciate you, like, just watching it, like, for real. But I got some interview questions I'm about to run through, and I'm about to give y'all a recap, the full recap of my 2024. All right, off top, it says, what role did faith play in shaping your 2024? Faith played a nasty role. Y'all, I was actually in the shower earlier, right? And I was just thinking, like, man, where was I mentally this time last year? Because I remember last year, I was still in that season of rock bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like, very much still waiting on God to do it. So I remember, I remember New Year's Eve very, 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 very clearly. I remember that I was sitting downstairs at church in like one of the middle pulpits, right? And Pastor, I felt like, was talking to me all night, yo. And so, I wasn't, and this is what I had realized. So the way I participate in church today is so different from how I was participating in church a year ago. So I remember sitting like in the middle row and in the middle. And, pastor was talking and I'm responding, I'm talking back. And I remember a dude sitting in front of me. Now, mind you, this watch night service. So we didn't swag surf into the new year. Like, it was a whole thing, right? And so by the end of it, it was this dude in front of me. He was like, hey, I don't know who you are, but like, I appreciate you. Like, you really, like, you've been talking like this whole time, but like your voice, like you saying something, I like that. Like, that's what's up. And I was just like, oh, cool, appreciate it. Really wasn't thinking nothing about it for real, but it was just like, that same messaging was very present all of 2023. Your voice, your voice, your voice. When you speak, your words. And it was just like, I wasn't really like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew I had a voice and I know that I have a voice, but I'm still understanding and figuring out what God want me to do, how he want me to do it, XYZ. So I remember that moment happened, and it was just like, as I was sitting there remembering that moment happened while I was in the shower, I was just like, bro, when I go to church today, I have to sit on the end because I got to be able to get up. I got to be able to walk around. I got to be able to dance if I need to dance, move if I need to move. And it's just like, yo, it put a smile on my face because I'm just like, bruh, God has really like helped me like increase my faith. You know what I'm saying? To the point where like I'm shouting and you know what I'm saying? Like I'm really like when I watch sermons and stuff, I really be talking back. I really be tuned in. Like I really like no interruptions when I'm in church, whether I'm online or in person. Please do not interrupt that time for me. Like it's very intentional, very just like, bruh, I'm in that, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm in that zone or whatever. And so I was just like, man, where did that come from? And I know for a fact the reason that I participate differently in church now, like when it comes to like listening to sermons or watching sermons, it's because I've literally seen God do some crazy stuff that can't nobody take credit for but him. Like, I'm talking about crazy work. And I'm talking about it was the timing and everything. And it was just like, it was really everything that I had been saying and believing. God actually showed me. You know what I'm saying? And it made me believe even more because it was just like, when I tell you God made it happen all of a sudden and, oh, God was going to do it. No, he literally did. Like, God allowed me this top of the year. This was around March. I think February or March. God had gave me the opportunity. One of my clients had reached out and they was just like, yo, I know you're not looking for a job. And it was just like, shoot, bro. Like, I actually am like looking for some clients or something. Like, I need something. And it was just like, yo, like, just take this meeting. And so I took the meeting or whatever. And, the lady's telling me like, yeah, you're going to get to create your own job. Tell us what you want us to pay you. And, we'll talk it over. But that's what it'll be. Like, I'm going to advocate for you to have, whatever it is that you want. So I'm like, dang, okay. And so, honestly, I got off the call with the lady. And I'm looking. I remember being in my office. And I'm like, I remember saying this out loud. God? Like, create my own job. Like, within a company that's not mine? What? I'm like, that junk wasn't registering to me. But guess what? Here go a gem drop right here. I didn't tell nobody about it. Like, when I tell you, like, when that moment happened, it was like the first person I turned to was God. Like, I didn't get on the phone and call nobody. I mean, I probably called one person afterwards, but I didn't go and tell everybody what was going on. Nah, because I didn't need nobody trying to get in the way of it. You know what I'm saying? With the energy or the just anything that could have possibly thrown that off of me. I didn't even want to give it the green light to do so. And so I remember I had sat there and I played with the idea with it. And I'm just like, all right, let's just see. And so, man, I create the job. I create the title. And, I create like the description, what I'm going to be doing, the career path. I'm talking about, bro, I laid this junk out, man. And I had sent it to them and I ain't hear nothing. And I was like, man, like, I knew this was too good to be true. So I didn't like rack my brain about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really just like, all right, like, if it's meant for me, it'll be. So it ain't nothing for me to like keep worrying about or let me send them a second email just to make sure that they got it. I ain't do none of that. I literally like, all right, Lord, if this is what you have for me, you know what to do. You know how to get my attention. So literally, man, I think it was probably like a month. Like 3 to 4 weeks had went by. And then all of a sudden I had received the email. Now, mind you, I'm checking my email constantly. Like, that's one thing that I always do, check my email. I can't say I do that lately because I'm behind on emails. So if you have emailed me, just know I'm going to get to it when I get to it. But yeah, I remember, and I had an argument with my mom that morning, right? My mom was like, I think at this point, you just need to like take something for the sake of having income. And I was just like, Ma, I don't really feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, God is really leading me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel the need, even though my bank account is negative. I have little to no money coming in. I'm on unemployment. Like, everything is against me right now. The odds are stacked. But I don't feel like God is saying just work anywhere. Because it was like, yo, let's be clear. I'm in need, but I'm not desperate, right? And when I say that because it's like, yo, listen, God has blessed you with a lot of gifts, a lot of talents. Like, there's been things that you've already been doing that you're not even using. That's going to help propel you to go to the next level. You hear me? So it was just like, I already knew that and I already felt that. So it was just like, nah, God is going to do it. And I know that that's uncomfortable. You hear me? Like, nothing about waiting on God is comfortable. Let's just be honest. Some people are not going to say that. Listen, I can only tell you from my point of view. It is not easy waiting on God, for real. Especially when, even with the people around you, they sitting there with their arms folded, trying to see what God gonna do too. Like, he gonna do what? Like, oh, you crazy. Nah, for real. But it's only crazy until it happens, right? So literally, man, I had left the house in that moment after I had got in that argument with my mom. And I remember I sat in my car, bro, and I was just like, I remember I probably cried like for a minute, and not even cried like, oh, I'm boo-hooing, but like a tear was rolling down my eye because it was just like, bro, this is so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm frustrated. Like, how am I sitting here in rock bottom? Like, Lord, how have you forgot about me of all people? Like, I was really feeling some type of way. You feel what I'm saying? And so literally, I don't remember where I had went, but it was basically like I had ran an errand. And literally, I wasn't gone all day. So by the time I had came back to the house and pulled up, do you know, I had checked my email again, and I saw an email about onboarding, the next steps. And I was like, who is like, huh? So I opened the email, and it's the company that my client works for. And it's like, yeah, we were very pleased with the job that you created. We want to, obviously offer you the position that you created. Here's what we gonna pay you. Like, it became I was like, like, what? Bro, I'm talking about super excited. I don't even know anybody in my family that has, you know what I'm saying, like, been able to have a opportunity like this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that was so dope. And that was literally one of the ways that, like, when we talk about, like, what role has, like, faith played in your, like, in shaping your 2024, bruh, it has been everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is also through that job opportunity. I got to travel. I got to, like, help people, like, tell their stories. And, like, I literally traveled to places that I had always dreamed of going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a chance to go to LA. I got a chance to, like, walk on the walk of, what is that? Fame? Basically where the stars are. I think it's called a Walk of Fame. But yeah, like, and I know you're probably like, oh my God, you're into film and you don't even know what it is. I just can't think of it in this moment. I don't care what you're saying. Just know that I'm gonna have a star there. That's that, yeah. But yeah, man, like, I had got to do that. I had checked out the Grammy Museum. Like, it was such a dope, like, trip. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't even the only place I've been. Like, I've been to places that I never even, for real, thought about going, let alone heard of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to Portland. I've been to Kentucky. I went to Wisconsin. Like, it was just like, it was just cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was out in Miami. I have been on the move this year, and this has really been the most that I've traveled. And that was one of the goals on my goal list for when I had wrote them in 2023. It was just like, yeah, like, I'm gonna be traveling next year. And I was just saying that, not even knowing that God was gonna do it for real. You know what I'm saying? So when you ask me how has faith shaped my 2024, in mind-blowing ways. Ways that I never even, like, I feel like, for me, I only hear about the stories of God blessing people and this, right? And this year for me, it was just like, bruh made me realize a little minute ago, he been with me on the journey for a while. You know what I'm saying? But it was just like, you did it again? You kept me again? You carried me again? You sustained me again? You provided for me again? Like, you chose me again? Like, bruh, I'm talking about, and it just seems like as my relationship with God grows, man, like, bro, you can't sit and tell me, like, it's not unlocking the next level. You hear me? Like, there's just constant, like, things that he just keeps revealing on the way. And it's just like, man, this is why they tell you it's important to really enjoy the journey. You feel me? The journey is not going to be peaceful the entire time. There are going to be times where it's going to get rocky. It's going to get bumpy. You're going to want to quit. You're going to want to give up. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose relationships. Like, it's so much that's a part of the process. You feel me? And, like, you don't even recognize how things are just truly, like, working out in your favor, for one, but also how it's literally positioning you and bringing you to what is for you. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just like, yeah, this year has been completely mind blowing, man. Like, I went on my first cruise. Like, you hear me? What? Yeah, man, come on. All right, boom, check this out. It says, was there a specific moment this year when you felt God's presence the most? That's good. That's interesting. I think I felt God's presence the most. Oh, all right. So listen, this year I had got engaged, right? It was to this girl that I had literally only known for a few months. Like, I'm talking about, I just knew that I had ran into the person that I was supposed to be with. And so the relationship started off super good. It was cool. You know, as y'all know how things go. And I want to say when that relationship started hitting the fan, I remember there would be times, there's times when I have my intentional time, right? It's like, God, I can't hear you. God, I don't feel you. You know what I'm saying? But like maybe, you know, maybe this is just for me to talk today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to create pockets and moments where it's like, okay, Lord, I want to feel your presence. Like, I want to hear your voice. Like, Holy Spirit, activate, right? And so I remember I would go out when I would spend time at her house. I would go out to the balcony. She lived on a higher floor or whatever. So it was always a dope view. And it was just like I had a better view of the sky. You know what I'm saying? I had a better view of like the plains and, the clouds. And I don't know, like I would just really be talking to God for real on a whole nother level. And I would be telling him, Lord, I feel like I'm drowning in overflow. Like I feel like you giving me everything that I've been asking for, everything that I've been saying I want. Like you just giving it to me, Lord. Like, and of course I have prayed, way before I even got this stuff where it's just like, Lord, like, don't just give me the blessings, but like help me to be a good steward, or help me to maintain all that you have provided. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't an energy of like, I'm just asking, and I'm not also asking God to equip me with, you know what I'm saying? Like the tools that I need to be able to manage this stuff that I'm asking for. And so it was just like, this was my first time in my life, bro, where I was experiencing overflow. I'm talking about, it was like I had the job, I had the girl, like I had the, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like, okay, cool. Like my spiritual life is straight. Like it just seemed like I was able to go through every area and I'm just putting checks by it. Checks. Like, oh, okay, boom. I'm about to buy like vending. Like I was in my bag in terms of like, oh, I'm about to run it up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just checking stuff off. And so I remember just constantly going to God like, bro, I don't hear you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm drowning in overflow. And it was just like I didn't hear him. And so I remember I was telling people like, pray for me. Like I remember I had told Janae one day, we was actually out working with a client and DJ Waffles, right? And so Yana was there, Waffles was there, and Janaya was there. And I remember telling her, like, bro, like, I need y'all to pray for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm drowning in overflow. Like, I need y'all to pray for me. And shoot, Janae was like, is it Janaya or Janae? Janaya was like, shoot, let's do it right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bet. So, bro, we literally at the basketball park. No lie. We at the basketball park. We all get in a circle. We hold hands. And Janaya just started praying for me, man. And I was just so grateful because it was just like, you know how people tell you like, okay, yeah, I'm going to pray for you. And some of these people never do. You know what I'm saying? Or you never hear what they say. You know what I mean? So for her to sit there and do that like in person for me, that was dope. Like I needed that. You know what I'm saying? But it was also super dope for me because it was just like, yes, man, somebody praying for me other than me. Like God, I know you hearing me, but also, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to get community around. Cause I know when we have 2 or 3 gathered together, like it's a thing. So, you know what I'm saying? For us to do that in that moment, I was just like, okay, bet. Like if it wasn't already up there, it's up there now. And so, like, I remember I just kept having moments like that where I was just telling people, I would tell my little brother, like, yo, pray for me. And that was everybody looking. Everybody that was sitting there thinking that God wasn't going to do it or wasn't sure if he was going to do it, everybody just sitting in the background like, oh, like, you don't check in no more. You don't let us know what you got going on. I ain't saying nothing because y'all wasn't even with me. You feel me? So I'm just like, bro, for them, it's just looking like I'm having. And definitely I was having. You hear me? But like I was drowning. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I had told one of my good friends, I ain't gonna call no names. Everybody on their own journey, right? So I had told one of my good friends, like, I'm drowning, bro. And they was like, that's what you get asking God for stuff that you ain't ready for. And I was like, see, it's people like that you got that you can't tell people everything. Cause it's people like that's gonna have that type of commentary. And it's just like, how was that helpful to me? Like how did that bless me just now? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, people always got that little bit of just like, just a smidget of hate. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't let that, you know what I'm saying, like blow me or nothing. It was just like, people feel how they feel. You know what I'm saying? For some people, it's like, shoot, I'm up, I'm having, I'm living. And for others, it's like, they got their nose tooted up. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed like, I remember, I felt like I was on a roller coaster. I felt like I was going crazy with this job. I started feeling like, oh, I'm having imposter syndrome. I'm not really cut out for this. I'm not, like, just started going through the motions. And so at some point, I remember, this was probably like 2 or 3 months had went by. And I remember I was just like, everything just slowed down and it got calm. Like, it was like things just quieted down. Like, it got real quiet. And it was just like, okay, Lord, is everything okay? What's finna happen? And I'm telling you, Holy Spirit, man, it was like I started getting messaging, right? I watched this sermon, and here's the crazy part. The girl that I was talking to that wasn't even sure, like, about God 100%, like, she turned on the sermon for me. It was Mike Jr., and it was the sermon of, like, you need to make up your mind. You need to make up your mind about God. Yeah, like, you need to make up your mind. Like, are you... And he was saying, like, you need to make up your mind in terms, like, if you know who God is, right? And you know how he's shown up and what he does and who he is, why are you sitting here playing mind games with yourself like he's not going to show up again? Like he's not going to do it again? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was just like, yo... After that, ooh, God started just speaking. And it got to a point, even when I would be outside during my intentional time, like, Lord, look, if this relationship don't work out, it's okay. I just want to make sure, like, that I hear you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I like this. I love this. But you tell me. You know what I'm saying? And so we would just keep having these conversations, and it was just like, I felt like I went from hearing from God top of the year, and then when I got into like the thick of it, everything got silent. And I feel like that was God's time for me. You know how when the teacher give you a test, they quiet, and it's like, okay, well, what you finna do? And I do feel like I started having choice. Like, I felt like God was trying to see if I was going to make the right decisions. You know what I'm saying? When I found out that, the person that I thought I wanted to spend the rest of my life with is not rooted in God, it's like, cool, so are you still going to keep this? Or are you going to let it go? Well, Lord, how you going to... This is what I've been wanting. You know what I'm saying? Like, music crate legit. Can dance, can this, can that. Like, yeah, all that. But she not rooted. I'm like... And even with not being rooted, it's like, yeah, you can always grow your relationship with God. Not saying that you can't do that. But it was bigger than that. It was like, if I'm bringing something to your attention and I've given you all of these things, do you trust me to give you more if I ask for it back? And it's just like, but I just got this. I just got here. Yeah, but can you trust me if I ask you to give it back? Man, you tripping, bruh. I had already told you I didn't want to go through rock bottom again. And it was just like, why do you keep calling it rock bottom? Like, what did you get out of that space when you was down there? Oh, well, you spoke to me. You told me you want me to be an author. You want me to be a speaker. You know what I'm saying? Like, my faith in Christ. So why do you keep calling it rock bottom? And it was just like, dang, you right. And it's like, all right. So I stopped calling it rock bottom. You know what I'm saying? But it was just like, all right, you see what this relationship doing to you. And I know you want this, but don't you think I have more for you? I'm like, bruh. So, yeah. Like, you want to know about a specific moment. That was a specific time. Like, that was a time frame. That felt like a mini season itself. Like, God went from... I'm hearing from you loud and clear to being quiet when it's time to take the test. Ooh. And I'm just smiling and I'm laughing because I told you I do videos like just randomly in my phone. So it's like there is literally a video in my phone from, was it early 2023? Yup. It was the beginning of 2023. And I was just on the video just talking about like, yo, I want the type of fruit that this. And I ain't got to have it right now. I want to wait because it's just going... Like, I was in the video popping my stuff. Not even knowing God, like, okay, cool. I'm about to test you. So that would be what I would say, like, the specific moment is this year when I really felt God's presence. Like, he wasn't saying a whole lot. You know how you feel like somebody watching you or like hovering over you? They staring at you, but they ain't saying nothing? It was definitely giving that. All right, let's see. How has your relationship with God evolved over the past 12 months? Y'all, first of all, I love these questions. Like, this is perfect. I feel like God just keep revealing himself to me in so many, like, aspects. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I think, I'm like, okay, cool, I know God. I don't. Like, just very much, like, I know him in terms of, like, he is who he say he is and he do what he say he do. But it's just like, it's still unfolding to me that even the smallest things he'll do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, what happened? It's like God is starting to show me the areas that he's in. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I had a thought in my mind. What was it? Because he's done this a few times. I think it's so funny. Oh, okay. No. I don't know if I want to put that out there. Like, I'll give you the example of my neighbors had been gone for like a minute, right? We hadn't seen them. And so, my family and stuff brought it to my attention, and I was just like, dang, wonder where are my neighbors? Like, I said, well, maybe they gone for the new year or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll be back. So I went and knocked on their door. No response. Rang the doorbell. No response. It was like, okay. And I was just like, Lord, like, I hope that they good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they straight. Hope everything is okay. Why these people show up a few hours later? Like, I was just like, God, how did you... These people been missing for weeks. You hear me? I'm telling you, weeks. And I'm just like, it was so crazy to me because I'm just like, Lord, like I called your name. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lord, well, hope these people woo. And these people show up hours later, y'all. I'm not even lying. No lie. Another thing, right? We had got the family together for Christmas, right? It was a good time. Y'all check out the video. It's dope. Now, I remember like after the gathering or something like that, I was like, I don't know what I said verbatim, but it was something along the lines of, it'll be dope if my sister had something like a game night or something at her house or whatever. And, you know what I'm saying, like invited everybody over, whatever. Now, keep in mind, I never said this to my sister. I never, ever, 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 ever said this to my sister. I didn't text her about it, nothing. Do you know that maybe like a day or two later, she sends out a group text message and she's like, hey, really enjoyed family time so much. We want to host a game night at our house. What? I'm like, what? Like, God and he's so funny, bruh. One more thing, and I promise I'm gonna leave you alone. For Christmas this year, right? Now, it's always a situation of my family, I feel like they struggle with being intentional. Not everybody, but some people. So there's always the question of, are we getting each other gifts? Are we getting each other gifts? And my thing is, I be like, shoot, honestly, I don't want you to get me a gift because I got you a gift. If you get me something, I want you to get me something because that's what you wanted to do, and it wasn't based off what I had done for you. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I didn't ask anybody what they wanted for Christmas. I didn't ask nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and nobody even sent a list. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only person that did have a list was my godson. And he made sure that he showed me his list. But outside of that, shoot, nobody had a list, and I didn't ask for one either, and I didn't have one myself. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to be very intentional about everything that I got everybody. And so, literally, I got my mom something, I got my grandma something, I got my sister, my brother-in-law, my brothers, like my girl, like literally got everybody something. I even got my girl little brother something for Christmas. Like, I made sure that like it was intentional. If I saw something and I'd be like, yo, this would be dope for somebody, or I'm not using this, somebody else could utilize this. Like, literally just, you know what I'm saying? Just made sure it wasn't about like, oh, everybody having a good Christmas, but it was more so about, I want to be intentional about the things that I give people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it to be just something that's collecting dust or it wasn't thoughtful. And so luckily, everybody gift was like, yo, like what? Like, you got me this? And it was just like, yeah, like, I love that. Like, I think it was so dope. So I was, as everybody was kind of like opening their gifts, and I hear like the response, I'll be like, God, you really like, you really did this. Like you made this Christmas trip happen. You made this Christmas dinner happen. Like you made all of this happen, bruh. Like you made it happen. And so it's just like, so again, when you ask like, yo, how has your relationship with God evolved over the last 12 months? Bruh, like I went from not wanting to share my stories to like, I'm so eager to tell you everything. Like it's one of those things like, you know how you see that, or you hear that saying like, God's plans are better than your plans. I agree. Like this is way more fulfilling than like, I don't know, being burnt out in other areas because that's just something that I want to do. Now keep in mind that none of this is easy. I want to make that very clear. Every day is not a great day. There are some days that I be crying. I be pissed off with God. I be yelling. I be asking questions. Like, some days I be having it. I just wanted to put that out there because I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is a walk in the park. But what I'm saying is like, when God started revealing stuff to me and the way it blows my mind, it's a smile on my face. And I know that just be like, okay, God, what happened? Like you did what? I feel like the inner girl really come out of me. Like my voice be high pitched, and I be like, God, like for real? Like it's giving gossip, it's giving tea. And so it's really just a funny time for me, man. Like when God just started doing stuff, it's like, bro, you a wild dude, man. So yeah, that's how I would say it has evolved. Like it's mind blowing. Like I never know what God got planned for the day, and that's just keeping it 100. Like, shoot. And he'll start giving you signs. That's one thing that I think one of the most important things that I picked up on this year. You know that saying of like, God will give you signs, miracles, and wonders. I think this year for me, it was like part of signs. Because it was just like, yo, you need to start paying attention to the signs. None of this stuff is really catching you off guard, but you're not paying attention to the signs. And it's just like when I started thinking about that started really making sense to me because it's just like certain stuff will be getting ready to happen and it'll just be like you felt it coming. You ever felt something coming? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the energy. Like you ain't know what it was, but it was very much something. So yeah, our relationship. All right, it says, what's a moment from 2024 that truly felt like a blessing? Ooh, shoot. When I got that job, bruh, like I had went from, it's so funny, man. Oh, I don't have my notebook. I should have had my notebook. But, I remember, I had opened my journal. Oh my God, I have to find it. Oh, where is it? Hold on, y'all. Let me think real quick. Where's my crazy faith? Where's my crazy faith journal? Okay, y'all. I'm back. I wasn't going to go and get this journal, right? This is my crazy faith experience journal. I wasn't going to go and get this journal, but I felt like part of me talking about my stories are also, this is part of the story where I actually took time to write down a prayer. You feel me? Like I need to I need to say that, and I need to like talk about that, because I want to show y'all for real that like I'm not just talking about writing it down. I'm actually writing it down. You feel me? Like I'm writing down to-do lists. I'm writing real prayers. Like I spend dedicated time writing things down. Yeah. So let me, and this was another reason this was important, because I like to date. I don't know if you can see that, but I like to date, put a date on my writings, because one of the things that I like I told y'all earlier, I enjoy going through my gallery, just looking at old content. And same thing with the things that I write down. This is evidence for me. These are receipts for me that, okay, boom, something that changed. Check this out. I wrote this January 20th of 2024. So this year in January, right? Listen to this. Woo, boy. When I first read this a few months ago, I could barely read it without crying, bruh, because it was me recognizing, just in case you forgot where you were earlier this year, yeah, God is moving. All right, boom. So listen, January 20th, 2024. Oh my God. It says, "Dear God," yes, sir. Woo, I'm so excited. It says, "Dear God, I feel like I have hit my version of rock bottom. I've been staying prayed up, seeking you wholeheartedly, spending intentional time with you, serving you, and walking in crazy faith. I am not, in all caps, depressed, but I will admit that I'm tired. Woo, they have put a notice out to repo my car. Because I am 3 months behind, I got a few months before my lease is up at my current spot, and I don't know where I'm moving, have money to move, etc. Business is slow, and I'm bringing home less than $500 a month. This is not enough to take care of my bills, but I am still here trusting you." Man. It's like even in the middle of my storm, I pray for others and I see you working in their life. When they call me with good news, I get so excited because you are really doing it. God, it's like, I know you are in the neighborhood, but at what point do you arrive at my doorstep? Lord, do your big one for me and through me. God, I know that you're going to do it. I believe that you are my provider, healer, redeemer, savior, Lord of all lords, King of all kings. God, I believe that you are moving on my behalf. Something, God, is about to happen. Something good is about to take place. It's already getting better. It's already getting easier. God is moving on my behalf. Come through for me, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Yo, I wrote this earlier this year, and I am not in the same, like, do you know? Oh my God, do you know? When I tell you, man, when I had forgot this was in here. And so one day I was out flipping, I was having my intentional time. I'm flipping through the journal. Now, this is when I was at my ex house, so I'm sitting outside on the balcony. You know what I'm saying? I got the sky views. It's good. And I'm sitting out there, and I come across this. When I tell you, I struggled reading this out loud. Like, I struggled reading it. I cried reading it. Like, I could not move past this because I was just like, bruh, I wrote this in January and God literally turned that thing around. Shoot, I think I had my first interview with them March. I was hired in April. I started traveling in May. Like, very much started moving, bruh. Do you hear me? So it's just like, yeah, man, like, who was that? The story of, who was that? Ruth? For Mary?
Mm.
And it was just like, yep. Because Pastor D had spoke on this.
Mm.
And she was just talking about you just like, you gonna be the proof that it can happen or that it did happen. Like, it's gonna happen through you. And I remember I told you, I think I had sent you that video on TikTok. And remember, it was this lady, she was a speaker or something. She is a speaker. It was, man, I sent you this video on TikTok recently. And the girl was just talking about how, again, you just supposed to be the one that's like, you're the proof that God can do it and will do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, that's the whole point of like telling the stories and the this to that. Like, it's gonna be proof for somebody else to do XYZ. And here you are, I'm writing down my stuff, my prayers. You writing down yours now. I'm seeing God do it from the things that I wrote down. You experiencing the same thing. Like, it's just like, dang, like, nah, you really for real. So, yeah, put a demand on God. Write it down. What?
And what did the lady last night say?
What did she say last night? Hold on.
She said...
Lady last night. Who?
She said, even if heaven and hell don't exist anymore, my word will always be.
Yeah.
Because it is, what did Jesus always say? It is written.
It is written. Yes, ma'am.
It's written.
I ain't got time. Who was that? The story of, who was that? Ruth? For Mary?
Mm.
And it was just like, yep. Because Pastor D had spoke on this.
Mm.
And she was just talking about you just like, you gonna be the proof that it can happen or that it did happen. Like, it's gonna happen through you. And I remember I told you, I think I had sent you that video on TikTok. And remember, it was this lady, she was a speaker or something. She is a speaker. It was, man, I sent you this video on TikTok recently. And the girl was just talking about how, again, you just supposed to be the one that's like, you're the proof that God can do it and will do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, that's the whole point of like telling the stories and the this to that. Like, it's gonna be proof for somebody else to do XYZ. And here you are, I'm writing down my stuff, my prayers. You writing down yours now. I'm seeing God do it from the things that I wrote down. You experiencing the same thing. Like, it's just like, dang, like, nah, you really for real. So, yeah, put a demand on God. Write it down. What?
And what did the lady last night say?
What did she say last night? Hold on.
She said...
Lady last night. Who?
She said, even if heaven and hell don't exist anymore, my word will always be.
Yeah.
Because it is, what did Jesus always say? It is written.
It is written. Yes, ma'am.
It's written.
I ain't got time.
Let me find out this is the only way you can communicate.
You saying something?
Let me find out.
See, now we talking about secret sauces.
Okay, let me find out that the devil can't read. Like, let me find out that he can understand the tongue, but can't understand the
Dang,
words.
you saying something? Yo, that's crazy.
What if every time you wrote it down, because it's directed to God, it's already encrypted? He can't even peep it for real.
Yo, that might be crazy as heck now that I'm thinking about that. Because I'm just thinking about it like this. I'm thinking about a time of like, okay, cool. You've had to hear the devil in your thoughts. Mm-hmm. You've had to hear him in your ear, right? But yeah, what if the moment you start writing your prayers out and it say, "Dear God, Holy Spirit, activate." Mm-hmm. Whatever you finna put in there. Like, it's like, think about on Apple. You know how you been and wrote a text and you can send it and it's invisible, but you gotta like do this in order for, you know what I'm saying, to read it, and it's only gonna stay readable for a few moments. Exactly. Dang, that is fire. That's wild work, bro. He don't have the authority because it's like, if he can't read it, he can't read it.
He can't read it. And it's like,
it takes dedicated time where it's just like, I don't feel like writing it down. It's not even 100% guaranteed that anything is going to happen from me writing it down. You know what I'm saying? But what you do have is proof when it happens. Like, you can go back to that journal and read it and allow it to re-blow your mind all over again. Like, Lord, you actually did it? You came through? And that's all it's doing, is helping you build your faith even more. Lord, I trust you. Now when he tell you to write down something or get to something, what you gonna do?
Write it down.
Exactly. See? Get active for sure. And just know that ain't the only prayer that's been written. So again, if he's done it before, what you think he gonna do again and again and again and again? He is who he say he is, and he do what he say he do. But y'all, that was from Sandy the Muse, man. I'm happy that y'all got to experience her and some of the conversations and the moments that we be having all the time. For those of y'all that's listening, and I don't know, might be looking for your next relationship, definitely check out my sister. She's a dating coach.
Work.
Kiana, what it do? And make sure you allow God to lead you to the person that he has for you. You can never, you never know, who gonna be around, how long they gonna be around, whatever the case might be. But just enjoy people while you had them. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the ones that, you know what I'm saying, like, you felt like was man, what the heck happened with that? It was help build you. You know what I'm saying? It was helping you kind of start to be able to decipher between what you want and don't want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Just really, everything I do believe happens for a reason. And, the path is already laid out, whether you go left or right. You know what I'm saying? It's just different opportunities along each path. So I do believe that you will be redirected and all of those things. So
and don't forget to tell them that you can't have your goals without God.
You cannot have your goals without God. I agree with that. You cannot have your goals without God, for sure. And you got to trust and believe that he going to do it. Mm-hmm. And I was just going to say, like, for my 2025 goals, I actually haven't written them down yet. Because I want God to tell me what he want me to write down. He's already been telling me throughout the day what to write down. And I have been wondering over the last few days, like, is this me or this you? This me or is this you? And so it's just like, for some of us, we don't need any new instructions. You just need to keep working what God has already given you. You know what I'm saying? Like, continue to work on it in terms of like what's the next level of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I had asked, I remember I asked God, like, okay, ooh, Lord, like I feel like, I know you, like how are we gonna level up our relationship next year? Like that's more so what I'm interested in, because it's like God just keeps showing me different levels of certain things, and it's just like I fall in love more and more each level. So that's why I'm like, yeah, bro, gotta, you know what I'm saying? He gotta do it for me. And I'm going to do my best not to go against the grain. What is the biggest goal you achieved this year? And what did you learn from the process? So, for y'all that don't know, one of the biggest accomplishments that I've had this year, I actually became a published author. Finally finished Finding Your Exit Door. It's now available everywhere you can get books. Got the ebook available, all of that. I'm excited to do the freaking audio book. The audio book gonna be out of this world. I'm saying that right now. So we putting a demand on God. He gotta set it up and he gotta do it. Yeah, big energy. But man, like God gave me this idea to write. Well, not even write. He gave me the idea about Finding Your Exit Door January of 2023 during my fasting. And it literally took me some time to navigate through what he wanted me to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, at first I thought it was going to be a video series. And then at some point, when he told me he wanted me to be an author and a speaker, it's like, oh, you want me to write a book? You know what I'm saying? It was just like, okay. So, yeah, Finding Your Exit Door is now available. I'm so proud of it, man. It has been a journey. It has been a process. I done had to go through a few people to get it done. There was a time where I stopped writing it. I stopped working on it because I got discouraged. And it was just like, I started back working on it and writing it. And even God was talking to me during the process of me not writing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just very much helping me write the story that I need to write within the book. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting, man. I love the book. Y'all definitely go get a copy of it. And I already know that's gonna be one of them ones that's gonna take us to the bestseller level, and they're gonna wanna, I don't know, a movie, like I don't know, whatever God wanna do with it. You know what I'm saying? Different languages, whatever. Like all it. And as far as what did I learn from the process, shoot, I learned a lot of lessons, but I think one of maybe the biggest lessons I learned from the process is to just trust God more. You know what I'm saying? Like, just believe him when he give you something. You know what I'm saying? Like, those random ideas that you think are random and whatever, just trust that you might not have the full story of what you need to do with that thing, but he's going to reveal it to you as you continue to, you know what I'm saying, like work on self. You know what I'm saying? Like continue to seek God, and you know what I'm saying, all things will be added to you. It's like, nah, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like I never thought that I was going to be an author. Like, and honestly, I never saw myself as an author because I was thinking about other people that I viewed as authors. And you know what I'm saying? Like when I think about, my English professors and the books that they're trying to get us to read, and none of them people sound like me. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never read a book that sounds how I talk. You know what I'm saying? So I automatically started just telling God, like, it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you must be mistaken. Like, and I actually even wrote down a prayer about my creative writing, not even knowing that he was going to ask me to write a book, ask me to become an author. And that was, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know me, you'll also know the story of me not believing in my own writing skills. You know what I'm saying? So to turn around and use those very skills that I'm slick ashamed of, you know what I'm saying? Those very skills that I actually don't even want nobody to know that I struggle with this. he literally turned them same skills around and helped me become an author. You know, like, bro, I don't have time. Like, I'm just like, come on, you hear me? Like, it's so yeah, it's really just like trusting God to do what you asked him to do and what he said he was gonna do. So that's what I would say I learned from the process. If I could describe 2024 in one word, what would it be and why? Man, y'all done probably heard me say this 1,000 times, so I'm gonna say it 1,001. This year has been very fruitful. This year has been full of so much fruit. I'm talking about, and not even just like any kind of fruit. I feel like God really just been like just blessing me in so many ways, and like I'm excited to see what he doing next. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been telling y'all, this every day is literally not a walk in the park, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like there are some days where I'm not sure what God doing, and I'm not sure what his plans are. Like, but I still just show up and I have faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have all the answers. I don't know when he gonna do it, how he gonna do it, who he gonna do it through. I don't know. You feel me? All I know is I'm trusting God, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't never left me hanging. So, shoot, I'm gonna keep saying what's up. What was the most challenging part of this year and how did you overcome it? For me, I would have to say the most challenging part of this year was experiencing another public failed engagement. As I told y'all earlier, I got engaged this year. I had no idea that I was even gonna do something like that this year, but you never know what's gonna happen. But yeah, man, that relationship was pretty much good until it wasn't. And it really showed me a lot about myself. It really showed me about the woman that I felt like I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. And yeah, man, it was hard. It was super challenging because I also had to sit and deal with myself in terms of like where I went wrong with the situation and, how could I have moved better and just different things like that. And then I also felt like, from her, like, basically, like, I can't speak from her perspective, but it was just like, I felt like she was trying to make me out to be somebody I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I very much feel like she was trying to paint me out to be this type of individual. And it was just like, it was a whole thing, man. And it was just like, one of the things that like my friends had started telling me was, you can't help who you can't choose, when you're going to be the villain in somebody's story or whatever. And that was my first time kind of hearing something like that. And so, I understood what they were saying. And it was just like, you are still a good person, even though you might be the villain in somebody's story. Like, at least that's what, my friends was telling me. Like, you can't choose, when you're going to be the villain in somebody's story. And it's just like, yeah, you're a good person and yeah, this and yeah, that. But there are times when, there are seasons when, dang, I'm not moving how I feel like I should have moved, or I'm not thinking how I should have been thinking, or, just not, I guess, moving at your best or whatever the case might be. And so there are some people who would try to like judge you and make you feel almost less than. It was just like such a crazy thing for me, man. And so it was just like that whole breakup was super hurtful because I was just like, I really had felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, yo, like I really, really, really felt like, dang, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Definitely on some power couple energy. And it also started showing me where my values were. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just like, oh, well, I don't want to value that. Like, I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to stand more firm this way or that. And so that definitely was a pivotal moment for me. And, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no bad energy or nothing. Like, it's all love at the end of the day on my end of the table. But, like, how I overcame it, man, was like I had to talk. You know what I'm saying? I had to talk. Like, I had to get it out. Because one thing I will say, some people don't realize that there is power in talking about whatever it is that's holding you, you know what I'm saying, back, whatever is running rampant in your mind, your feelings, whatever it is. Like, you got to get to a safe space and be able to talk about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even if you just sitting in the room by yourself, talk about it, get it out, say it out loud, because it's like once you start talking about it, God has the opportunity to sustain you. You feel me? God has the opportunity to like literally like, okay, cool, you coming to me raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. One thing that Pastor Mike, I've always heard him say, God can't bless who you pretend to be. So it's like if you don't talk about it and you coming off like everything cool and, you know what I'm saying, it's all good, but deep down inside, you know, you hurt or, you know what I'm saying, you feeling away. Like, talk about it so God can, you know what I'm saying, help you heal from that and you know what I'm saying, fix it however he want to fix it. So shout out to my friend Mika. She made herself available to me during that time to just really, you know what I'm saying, like, talk, you know. And I remember I called her one night just crying and, you know what I'm saying, like, and she didn't judge me, you know what I'm saying, like, she didn't. And me and Mika, like, we had just started, like, getting to know each other, man. It was just like, shoot, like, it was a moment for me, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, she was very, like, shoot, allowed me to cry. You hear me? Allowed me to really talk about how I feel for real. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, just the whole thing. So, yeah, man, like, I was able to overcome it just by talking about it and allowing God to heal the hole. You hear me? Like, I was mad at myself. You feel me? I was mad at her. Like, I was mad at other people. Like, yeah, like, very much in my feelings. But Holy Spirit activate. It says, what's a lesson from 2024 that you'll carry with you into the new year? One of the lessons I would say would be to just keep believing that God gonna do it. You hear me? Because it's not a question of if he can do it. You have to believe that he will do it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, 2024 for me has been a mind-blowing journey. And I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. I'm also scared. You know what I'm saying? Because God sometimes you don't know what's finna happen. You just don't know. So I'm a little bit of all things. It's kind of like, but I'm not anxious. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm just chilling like, okay, Lord, I trust you. I'm not going to think about it too much, but I got my eyes open. For real. Let me see. How did you balance faith and action when faced with uncertainty? How did I balance faith and action when faced with uncertainty? Basically, when I feel uncertain about, like, you know what I'm saying, like, whatever the situation is or something that I need to do, I just put my faith on it. Like, and I do that by having to, like, say who God is. God, you the Lord of all Lord, kings of all kings. Like, your plans are greater than my plans. Like, you've already laid out my path. You know the number of hairs on my head. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you have already, like, created me within your image. Like, just very much start reminding myself who God is and what he's already done, right? And that gives me the clarity of like, bro, just go and do it. Like, just go and trust him. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. You know, he didn't tell everybody else the instructions. Ain't nobody moving on it but you. Go ahead, do it. And, you know, it's a lot of times like that where you're just uncertain. Like, Lord, are you even saying do this or is this me? Okay, well, regardless, Holy Spirit activate, give me my discernment. All right, let's run the play. Come on, run the play. Everybody, let's run the play. Run the play. Shoot, yeah. Let's see. What are you most excited about in 2025, man? Just whatever God gonna do, man. Like, which dreams are he gonna make come true now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder which one of my prayers he's going to answer next year. Like, the ones that I have written down and the ones that I don't have written down. Like, I'm excited to just, you know, be doing what I love to do for another season, man, another year. I'm excited to keep podcasting, keep creating content in all aspects. I'm excited I hope he, you know, answers my prayers of putting my products in retail stores, getting some of my content on major platforms like Hulu, Netflix, Showtime, HBO, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, wherever. Yeah, like, let my book sell out. You know what I'm saying? All around the world. And we start having like Finding Your Exit Door conferences and people inviting me to come speak, and you know what I'm saying? Just very much all of that, dog. Like, man, Holy Spirit activate. Lord, set it up and run it up. You hear me? Do it, Lord. Yeah. What's one thing you'll do differently in the new year? I've been praying that God literally removes the spirit of procrastination off me. So one of the things that I'll be doing differently in the new year is simply just really doing stuff when I say I'm going to do it, or focus better on it when I say I'm going to, like, focus on it. Like, if my goal is to get up at 5 a.m., I don't want to hit the snooze button till 5:30. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really just want to get up at 5 a.m. I want to do a better job of doing the things that I need to do that's going to help me continue to thrive in 2025. You hear me? Yeah. All right, boom. Last question. What's your message to anyone looking to grow in faith and chase their dreams in 2025? Oh, wow. Such a dope question. The message that I would give to anyone that's looking to grow their faith and chase their dreams in 2025 would be run it up. Like, run it up and trust God. Like, and really to, like, run it right back. Seek God first, and all the things will be added to you. And really seek him. I'm not talking about kind of like, oh, God, you in there? Nah, like, really go seek, really go find him. You hear me? Holy Spirit activate. Tell God you want to see him. You want to talk to him. You want to feel his presence. Like, put a demand on God, bruh. Get to know him. Y'all talk about plans and you allow his plans to be filled. You hear me? And he gonna blow your mind, man. Like, that's the message I would give. Like, seek God first, and all the other things will be added to you. Like, literally set it up and run it up. Set it up, that means seek God first. Like, so basically, like, you setting up the play. You hear me? Like, set it up with God first, right? And then run it up. Meaning when he make it happen, when he do what he said he gonna do, you better run it up. You better enjoy it. You better literally be like, yeah. You better scream to the mountaintops and tell people how he did it. You hear me? Let's go. Hey, man. Hey, yo, listen. looking back over this year, man, I can't help but be in awe of what God has done. I'm talking about the blessings, the growth, even the challenges, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all had a purpose. And so if there is one thing I want you to take away from this long, long, long message, is to stay faithful, keep dreaming, and never stop showing up for yourself. All right, y'all. As we step into 2025, I'm ready to chase even bigger goals and walk in purpose. And I'm so glad and grateful that you all been on this journey with me, man. Here's to a new year filled with possibilities, faith, and the courage to keep going after everything God has for us, y'all. Until then, set it up and run it up. Let's make it happen. Happy New Year!